Next, we're going to review the blade. We're going to look under the microscope, how well it's machined, and then we will measure the hardness. Because that's another area where Microtech is kind of, you'll see. The Microtech grinds. They are as near to perfection as a production knife company can possibly be. Look at that tip. Everything is symmetric, identical angles on both sides. Let's flip it over. As well as on this side. Beautifully machined edge. This particular blade has this lightly tumbled finish. As you can see, the striations are distorted by the tumbling in some kind of abrasive media. And what I'm trying to show here is that the secondary bevels on all four sides are perfectly machined. This satin finish at the thickest portion of the blade is evidence that they grind blades to thickness after heat treat, which distinguishes them from much less expensive knives. Here's the threaded hole for the adjustment screw, which I call flying saucer just because it looks like one. And as you can see, it's still full of Loctite. And the interesting part is that they didn't even really need Loctite because it comes equipped with this set screw, which secures the adjustment screw to the blade, preventing it from unscrewing. Let's get into the hardness test. I use this calibration block, which is certified to 787 points on Leap Scale. Leap Scale has a much higher resolution than the Rockwell scale. A single point on a Leap Scale equals 0.07 point on a Rockwell scale, 0.07 of a point. And I'm looking for an average of 5 strikes to be within the calibrated range. Leap testers produce more accurate results than Rockwell testers, but they're slower. This beep is telling me that it's calculating an average, and we got 791 points, which is 4 points above calibration. We're going to be subtracting 0.3 points on the Rockwell scale. I start the stopwatch so that the sweep of the handle illustrates to you that I am not editing this segment. It's going to be one continuous and uninterrupted experiment. To ensure no air cavities in between the blade and the test block, I put this incompressible gel, which is a sanitizing gel. Although I expect this area to be super flat because, as I said earlier, they put a final grind after the heat treat, and heat treat is where most of the material deformations happen. I'm going to measure 5 times on each side and show you the adjusted averages. Remember, I'm subtracting 0.3 points. Let's not forget to reset the tester and set scale to Rockwell C. Let's go. Thank you everyone who subscribed to my channel. Appreciate you hitting the like button and sharing this link with your social network. That really helps the channel. Whoops, got ourselves an outlier, meaning unusual result, which we will have to read out of the final calculations. So don't look at the screen, this is incorrect. And here is the corrected calculated average, 60.9 HRC. It looks like Microtech upped the heat treat by about a point from testing previous knives, which could be just one-off, or it could be a systemic improvement. 61 HRC, it's pretty decent for M390, and this is of course M390MK, which is a very similar steel. Dr. Laren Thomas published an article comparing M390 and M390MK, and he found no discernible differences. So all the logic and mentality that applies to M390 applies to M390MK. And here's another outlier. Mathematically, it's outside the Six Sigma window. And that means I will have to recalculate the average again. And what I get this time is 60.7 HRC. Final verdict, 61 plus minus 0.5 HRC. I am so happy about this result because I previously tested 5 Microtech blades, all came at about 59.5 plus or minus a half. So this is a good improvement. I said a point earlier, but it's basically 2 points improvement. Good job, Microtech. Finally, they're listening to the demands of the community. And I think it's ideal for the type of the steel.